Okay, so we say all the glory to our God, our Maker, Elohim, El Shaddai, Adonai. It is exactly 25 minutes to the top of the hour right here, 98.3 FM. And let we go this way. Sincerest apologies to our discerning listeners, particularly on traditional radio. But as a result of technology, we have other options to come your way as well. It's got to do with the online streaming of our programs, particularly the very one as directed by the Academic Board, University of Education, Winneba, our flagship radio lecture series. And on the wings of the very production team helping me to come your way this morning, it happens to be a very rainy day in Winneba and its adjoining communities. And our prayer is all those rains will translate into physical blessings and even beyond. Already set here in the studio happens to be one of our own. And my first time, do I say I'm super blessed to be the one to welcome him to the studio after his elevation. He used to be a mister, but now it's about Dr. INUSAH MAHAMA. That's the name. I know you've had the experience when we were citadeled at the South Campus. And it's a privilege, it's an honor to present to him the experience this very morning. And for me to present him to you as you do the following live on Facebook, 98.3 FM. Remember, Radio Winneba 98.3 FM, that's the deal. So for you to have the full circle of the experience this very morning. So like I told you, our radio lecture series just about kickstarting this morning, Tuesday, 23rd August 2022. So for all you level 200 students, University of Education, Winneba, studying the course EDC 241, Psychology of Human Development and Learning, time to keep it still active online. Remember what to do with Facebook, Radio Winneba 98.3 FM, Radio Winneba 98.3 FM, and that possibility of also having the live streaming on the all-embracing homepage of our university. That's www.uw.edu.gh. And don't forget, later on in the course of the lecture, studio line will be activated for it to come through, and equally serving as a part for SMS as well, for it to make it a very interactive one. 0503923158, 0503923158. On behalf of my team, executive producer Collins Kofi Ewoku, and then on social media Andrew Hammond, technician on duty AB Ghani, and to the rest of the team as well. My name is Bright Fuga, and I say welcome to our very online mode of programming this morning as we bring to you our radio lecture for all of our 200 students, University of Education, Winneba, EDC 241, Psychology of Human Development and Learning. And like I told you, I have in the studio our one and only Dr. INUSAH MAHAMA from the Department of Educational Foundations, University of Education, Winneba. This morning we're looking at the subject threats to prenatal, perinatal, and postnatal development, educational implications. And as tradition demands, I need to go to Doc and say, Doc, on behalf of the team here, we say congratulations to you. And our prayer for you is may God continue to power you for as far as you would want to go in this very pursuit of giving a reason for existence to humanity, particularly UW. Super proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Expectations for the new season radio lecture series?
I think this time around is going to be more than what we have been doing.
Wow.
And I must first of all say thank you to Radio Winneba,
okay,
and to my mother institution, UEW, for guiding me, giving me the opportunity to pass through all this stress and then
positively,
damaging my head.
Positively, of course,
and totally becoming a PhD holder in educational psychology.
Congratulations.
More is yet to be experienced from us.
For sure.
Thank you.
Students are all ears, particularly level 200 students, UEW, studying the course EDC 241, Psychology of Human Development and Learning. So we are all ears and ready for your presentation, Doc. Over to you.
Thank you very much, my dear listeners. UEW fraternity, good morning. It's one of your own from the Department of Educational Foundations, UEW. This morning, we are going to walk ourselves through issues regarding human development. And it's based on the course EDC 241, Psychology of Human Development and Learning. This course is taken by all level 200 students of our mother institution, UEW. It is expected that one gets the ideal grade before you can progress to the next level in your academic ladder. This morning discussion will center on some of the things that occurs in the process of pregnancy. We pride ourselves as an institution when it comes to education, meaning we try to train people to go out there and nurture young ones who we expect to become the future change makers of our great Ghana. And for that to happen, there is the need that we understand how the human become human and how we, those who pride ourselves as teachers, understand them and then teach them what they're supposed to get as they progress in their areas of expertise. So our focus for this morning will be on prenatal, perinatal, and postnatal development when it comes to human development. These are the key three stages when it comes to our growth right after conception. So we are going to talk to them individually, and at the end of the lecture, each and every one of us listening through the airwaves, streaming through the social media platform, will appreciate who you interact with every now and then, whether in school or outside school. We will first of all talk about the prenatal development. When we say prenatal development, it comes from the word pre and then natal. Natal is about human development, but pre, before. The pre means before. So before birth, what happens to the person? Before birth, what happened to me or what happened to you? We can say prenatal development is defined as the process of growth and development within the womb of a pregnant woman. It is a period that involves remarkable changes in the life of the unborn baby and that of the one who carries the unborn baby. Most of our parts that we use in operating in our world start forming at this stage. And the stage is the prenatal development as I've indicated. This stage is divided into three. We have the germinal stage, embryonic stage, and fetal stage. You can say fetal stage, depending on the kind of grammar you are employing in your study. The Americans and then the British. But then we often use fetal. When we come to the germinal stage, it is the first 2 weeks of pregnancy. And at this stage, the fetus, which is now developing, try to change itself to blastocyst. And the blastocyst is more or less a jelly-like structure within the womb of a woman. And when it turns towards the blastocyst, it tries to align or anchor itself on the uterine wall so that there can be stability whilst the fetus grow. And we call that stage implantation. And when you hear implantation from any angle of your study, remember it is a stage in which the fetus attaches itself to the uterine wall. And remarkably, that stage ends the germinal stage within the first 2 weeks of pregnancy. From the germinal stage, we move to the embryonic stage, which moves beyond the second week of pregnancy to the 8th week of pregnancy. At this stage, series of divisions occur and major changes also occur there. At this stage, a child possesses a beating heart or a live heart. So if by mistake or by inducement someone terminates a pregnancy, it means a life being is being terminated within 8 weeks, meaning approximately 2 months. But then this stage is subdivided into three. It's subdivided into three based on layers. We have the ectoderm, outside part, which is responsible for the skin, things on our skin. Mesoderm, which is responsible for our muscles, the flesh, and endoderm, responsible for our internal component, the intestines and those stuff. The embryonic stage ends when there's an evidence of a true bony cell. When bony content are identified in the structure, it means the fetus have moved away from embryonic to fetal stage. And fetal stage lasts from the 2nd month of pregnancy up to the 40th week or the 9th month of pregnancy. At this stage, there are several factors that comes to play which can go against the smooth and well development of the unborn baby within the womb of a woman. Such factors can be the kind of genetic makeup of the individual. These factors sometimes they are threats. And these threats are many and have a toll on the way and manner the unborn baby develops. I categorize the traits based on literature in 3 thematic areas. I have the genetic, I have the environmental, and I have the personal or induced traits. When we talk about the genetic, each individual born into this environment contains some biological foundations. These biological foundations are the reasons why you are this or you are that. And in the process of their combinations, when fusion takes place or fertilization takes place, there may be instances whereby they will not go in their right way. They may be having anomalies, and these anomalies can go on board to contribute to a defect in the life of a child, which is yet to be born. So these genetic problems emerge currently and can equally affect the person in future while developing in the womb. One prominent one of the genetic defect is the Down syndrome. The Down syndrome. Down syndrome has another name called trisomy 21. In some books, you may see Mongolism. When you happen to see either trisomy 21 or Mongolism, look no further. It's just about Down syndrome. And this defect is a genetic issue that happens on the 21st pair of the genetic combination. Every human being possesses 46 good chromosomes when they are combined in their right proportions. But then, as they contribute they are contributed by male and female to make up the child. At the 21st pair, there may be an erroneous contribution with an extra one. And that extra one will not be matching up with the original ones. So more or less a tiny one attached to the two original. One from mother, one from father. That makes up the trisomy 21. And this situation can go against the well-being of a child in terms of their intellectual development. When you see one here in Winneba, and you go to, let's say, Zabzugu Tatale, you go to Agbozome and see one, you may think the one you saw in Winneba is the same person you are seeing in that place. They look alike. Such individuals, when they are walking, it's like they are modeling majestically. Their faces are flattened. Very interesting. They can be so funny to us and can entertain us. But then, societal-wise, we try to tag them as Obosomba. Anytime at all I encounter such a situation, and you are a mother, you are a father, I say if your child is an Obosomba, then you or the papa or mama, you are Obosomami or Obosom papa. Very funny enough. They never came with their own word. Violation. It's through the combination of genes which we have less control over. Once it occurs, we need to manage. We manage from the home, the society, and the school. If they are managed very well in their lives, they can be productive as every individual. When they are not managed well in their lives, they become a burden not only on the parent, but on the teacher, on the community members. Why do I say they can be a burden on us? Yes, when the person is being tagged, he's not tagged only on his family, but the community he's coming from. So what do we think we can do? There are several traits that we can engage them. Sewing, peacemaking, even joking through modification processes. They can be productive where we can make good use of their abilities. If they say they are mentally retarded, it doesn't mean they are socially retarded. They may be slow in acting, but it doesn't mean they cannot succeed. So we need to give them the opportunity so that they can realize their God-given talent. They have several of them. Not too long ago in the United States of America, a Down syndromic child told the father, I want to be a flight attendant. And an airline company quickly went to the aid of this small girl, recruited her. She serves in the flight, but doesn't board the flight when they are going. But then her actions alone entertain what? The passengers. And that alone fetches them much resources. While the company benefit, the family equally benefit. Because the girl will be paid, and family will get their ends meet out of that. So let's be careful when we encounter such individuals in our families. Again, we have another genetic issue that can go against the well-being of the unborn baby, which is heredity or inherited diseases from parents. There may be some diseases that are found in the lives of a parent. And when such a parent becomes conceived as a woman, they pass it on to the neonatal or the yet to be born child. And they carry it in their lives. One example will be the sickle cell anemia. Sickle cell anemia is not bought from the market. It is being inherited. Huntington chorea is also one, and aligned to the mind of the person or the brain of the person. Once you inherit it, there's nothing you can do about it, but you can manage the situation. So, when someone is a sickle cell patient or Huntington chorea, and you find a person in your family, you were lucky you never picked that. And that person was not lucky and he or she picked. So you need to come together as one and help the person to succeed. Remember, those with a sickle cell anemia, they are very delicate when it comes to their development. Why am I saying this? They are very delicate because their situation is very severe. They are fragile when it comes to their bones. When they fall sick, they need much blood transfusion. For one to be out of sickle cell anemia, you need bone marrow transplant. The bone marrow transplant is not easy for us to go by. And once it happens and you have the resources, you need to. If you don't have, you need to manage it. They may be having a series of pains in their joints. Just because the blood they contain is not like what others contain. Ideally, the red blood cells that are to manufacture rich blood for them, to produce good oxygen for them, may not be like the way it happens in the life of the sickle cell anemic person. So you may see them being pale. One funny thing is, you may invest your resources in their lives so much that when they get to the period where you are going to benefit, they will pass on suddenly. But remember, the life of every human being is not determined by the disease, but determined by the maker of us. So when you are found in this situation, it doesn't mean you should be thinking about death. Think about progress in life, because death and life are through God. Sometimes we say when we are teaching, we don't bring issues of God in or that. But then who makes the one who is teaching? There are some situations that go beyond treatment. And one can only survive that when the person is being destined by the Almighty that you can live without any complications of this sort. Another genetic issue is the Klinefelter syndrome. Klinefelter syndrome. This syndrome is when we have an extra eggs. An extra eggs. On the gene combination or chromosomal combinations. At this stage, the extra X makes the person super individual. There are some things that may be abnormal in the life of the person. And if you compare the person with any other individual from the environment, you see variations or differences. And the difference is not about the person being better than an individual, but then there's a defect in that instance. They can be abnormally tall. They can be having abnormal hands, very long, more than the ordinary hand, and the rest. But then, reproduction-wise, they are less developed. The ovaries, or things that are responsible for spermatozoa, may not be working the way it's supposed to work. So they can grow and become stout, very giant, but reproductive-wise, they cannot. We equally have the Turner syndrome, where we have, ideally, every female must carry XX, but you end up carrying X0 or XO. It means one of the X's is missing. And once it is mixed, it means you are incomplete. Reproductive-wise, you cannot. You may ovulate, but you cannot conceive sometimes. Some other times, no ovulation will occur. And remember, ovulation is the panacea to pregnancy. And once the ovulation is not taking place, there's no way you can give birth. But it doesn't mean when you find yourself in such situations, you should be quarreling yourself, be nagging at other people, becoming angry for yourself, and the rest. It may have a psychological repercussion in your life in totality. You have to understand yourself that you never caused such a situation in your life. Your father and mother never determined that by themselves. It's a system that we have less control over that caused that. You only manage the situation and move on. But who even says every human being on earth here must have a child? Not everyone should have a child. If that should be the case, then we may not be having people in the priesthood or the religious groups saying, yeah, I'm productive in nature, but then I've dedicated my life to the word of God. So therefore, I'm not going to engage myself in celibacy. So I'm not going to give birth and the rest. And they preach to us, they advise us, we those who are having children, or those who are yet to even have children. So when you find yourself in such a situation, please, don't think negative about yourself. Think positive about yourself and grow. If you think negative and you happen to be a student, you happen to be someone who has children with such situations, and you tell them, they'll be thinking negative when they are in school. They will not concentrate. And when concentration is not there, there's no way nothing being taught in the class can enter the head of the child. They cannot make any meaningful thing out of the interaction they have with their teachers. Aside the biological or genetic factors, we equally have environmental traits. Environmental traits are things outside our world that have the potential to cause a defect in an unborn baby. One of them is drug, unprescribed drug. When women become pregnant, there are several drugs that they take unprescribed. Some women may wish to have a child that will be having so much hair on their body. But what is the essence of the hair? The hairy person. Does it make a difference? Your milk is what we want and not the hair. So they'll be deceived by people that when you take this particular drug, it increases or nourishes the body or the looks of the child. Remember, anything that is made by the human being, it has a side effect, but they will not tell you. So you go on board and take it, which ends up making the life of your child very miserable. Such a child grows and goes to the school there, and he or she has a defect. The colleagues will be teasing. If care is not taken, the child might run out of school and become truant, will never go there, and later become a canker to society. Another thing that when someone becomes pregnant, they do, which can go against them, is alcoholism. Some women will say, let me take some little alcohol and eat, because that increases their appetite for the food. Please, it's not the best. If you keep taking alcohol while pregnant, you may give birth to a child that is having fetal alcohol syndrome. Such individuals, when they are born into the earth, you look at their facial expressions, you may think they are stretching or trying to what? Exaggerate the way their faces look. But then, that is how it is. They are not over-exaggerating it or stretching it. Their eyes become somehow spreaded or more stretched. Not by their making, but because of the alcohol you take. This situation can also be caused by the man who drink, a chain drunkard. Then you go engage in sexual intercourse with your wife. She becomes pregnant. Your wife never takes alcohol, but the child can go with that. Remember, anything that from the outside is a teratogen that can go against you. Terra from the Greek word terra, meaning malformation. So there can be a malformation initiated from the mother and initiated from the father. So don't think because you are a man, you don't carry pregnancy, you can go and smoke, drink alcohol, and come and engage your wife in a coitus. She becomes pregnant, and something happens, you say, you are the cause. Please, in quote, you are a stupid father. You don't do that. Research says that when we have severe alcoholism and severe smoking, we may have a less developed brain of the child. And when the brain is less developed, it means the person automatically become mentally retarded. You cannot think like the well-developed person. You cannot act like the well-developed person. So let's be careful. And again, we may have issues of heart defect. The heart may not work the way it's supposed to work when you engage in severe alcoholism. And we may have high incidence of child death. We can have a preterm death, postterm death, and the rest here. So let's be careful. You may think it only increases your appetite, but then it never. It has a major side effect in the smooth growth of the child. We have the maternal disease, which can be chronic. There may be disease on the system of the human being in terms of the mother, or in the system of the mother. And once such diseases are there, it is possible it can cause an effect in the life of the unborn baby. One of them can be rubella, German measles. And certain can give a lot of complications in the life of the unborn baby. In our local parlance, the chila, they say it in Tobro and the rest. German measles does not only go against the body or the physical aspect of the child, but the mental development of the child. It can cause deafness in the life of a child. They can be born and they cannot see anything. So women who are identified to have herpes too, we have herpes. They are advised to go through the cesarean section so that they can control the situation in order not to allow it being transmitted into the life of the unborn baby. We equally have pica. Be an environmental factor or threat in the life of an unborn baby. Pica is taking in something that has no nutritional value in your life as a woman. But when pregnant women or when women become pregnant, they have the craving for some food that has no nutritional value. It has no health benefit in your life. One of them can be chewing charcoal, even eating feces, chewing ice block, chewing paper, chewing clay, that which we call shire or dot. Others take soap. Others can equally chew chalk. Even baby powder, they take it. Ash from the firewood, they take it. Common clove, they chew and then swallow the water. And glue. All these things have no nutritional value in your life as a woman. The moment you take it, it goes against your life. The moment you take it, it goes against the life of the unborn baby. But pica only happens in the life of a pregnant woman when they lack certain important nutrients. In terms of amino acid, When they lack them, they easily go in for that. And picker is an issue of irresistibility, or something that happens compulsively. You cannot control it. It's uncontrollable. Picker can easily occur as a result of a cultural, orientation. When the culture you live in allows that when you take some specific non-healthy food items, non-food items in the environment, it can cure a particular, ideology that they possess in the environment there. So pregnant women happens to take it. Please, all these are lies. All these are unhealthy in your life as a pregnant woman. The problems we are having in our classroom today might not be from anywhere, but as a result of such pickers. You take it and the child also takes from you. Because the child only communicates in terms of food and breathe through the word, the placenta or the umbilical cord. So whatever that you do as a woman, they take it from you through that blood channel. And that channel, whatever you take goes there. And if it is bad, they take it. If it is good, they take it. So don't be surprised when we have a problem child on our environment or a problem child in the classroom. They may not cause it by themselves, by you, the mother. Research in Ghana some years back, 2 years ago in 2020, indicates that 286 women were investigated, and these women were pregnant, and they found that most of them have highest rates of picker, 47%, because of what? Exposure to such non-food items. They eat clay, and the culture even motivate them or inspire them to do that. Again, the study found that the most common items that they take is the white clay and ice block. Why do you go in for ice block? It's just water that has been caked through ice. Clay is just sand, and they may have germs. You take them and chew, drink water on top of that, thinking you are satisfied. Please, you may be satisfied through the stomach, but health-wise, it doesn't have any benefit on you. Rather, it has a complication that you can give to yourself. It is said that picker can also be caused by stress. When a pregnant woman becomes stressed or become anxious, they may go into picker just to release the anxiety. Again, when you have a mental problem, psychological dissonance, when you have a disturbing situation in your pregnancy, it can lead you to go in for picker. You have a husband who cares less about you. You have a boyfriend who impregnated you and said, please, you were a utility player, so he or she will not take responsibility when it comes to what? The pregnancy. But you knew as a woman, the man is the bona fide owner of your pregnancy, and that alone can lead you to think negative. Negative thinking can lead you to go in for picker, taking non-food items which can go against the child. So let's be careful. I usually advise the women that no matter how negative the situation is, never go in for something that will go against the health of the child that you are carrying. If you do that, because of the anger you have harbored for the father, you are not only affecting the child by yourself, because when you give birth, you have to nurture the child immediately. So if the child has a defect, it goes against you. From there, the child will go into the class. The teacher also is going to be affected. They may need to go in for individualized educational plan for the child, a special training for them, which comes at a cost. If they don't have the resources in the school, how do they go by it? Fortunately, we have several ways in treating picker through aversive therapies. We can reinforce good behaviors and discourage good behaviors through this. Anytime at all they do, you can go and say, oh, you are my wife. If you don't take picker, I'll give you that. If you take this food, I'll give you this. When they do it, you reward them, they will change. It's a form of behavior modification or behavior change. Some other times, they can be taken through differential reinforcement so that they can cope with their cravings and do away with the cravings and then go in for things that they have no craving for. And those things will be the healthy ones. Why is it that you may have fufu with palm nut soup, with meat on top of it? You say you don't want it. You want to go and chew clay. You want to go and chew, what do you call it? Charcoal. You want to take ash. You can be trained so that you can withstand the pressures or the stimulations that are coming from these environmental factors. So therefore, you can have a healthy body, a healthy system that can lead to a healthy child that you are yet to give birth to. After this, we can have a choice or personal decisions that can go against the unborn baby. One of them is the period within which the child that you have born already and the one you are carrying. Women who become pregnant right after 6 months of their birth may have complications in the life of the child that they are carrying as a second child. So we call short duration to a second child or second pregnancy. At this stage, they may have severe death or neonatal death because you may not have much time for the one that you gave birth first. And you may not have much time to take care of the one that you are carrying. So either you lose any or both. So let's be careful in terms of the spacing of a child. So that you with the mother or the mother or the family may not have any complications. Wouldn't it be so painful that you get pregnant for 6 months and you lose it? You are left with only 3 months for you to deliver. But you lose it. And you lose the one that you brought first. Ideally, for the child to develop well and grow well, you have to space within 2 years, the minimum. Some people can go as long as 4 years so that they can get much time for the child and nurture a healthy child in future. Remember, when a child is healthy, teaching and learning become healthy in the classroom there. When the child is not healthy, it's problematic and you need a lot of resources to manage the classroom. If you find yourself in our developing country like Ghana, it may go against you. We equally have perinatal as another stage in the development of individual. Perinatal occurs or it's a period within the pregnancy which is not far from prenatal, but it goes beyond prenatal and lasts up to the first 4 weeks of childbirth. So the first week of birth we end perinatal, but it starts from the period of prenatal as well. And several things that occurs in terms of the defect or the stress that happens in prenatal are equally affecting in perinatal as well. But beyond that, we have the postnatal after pregnancy, that is childbirth. When the child is born, there are several things that you need to do as a parent so that the child can grow and grow well. One of them is the eating practice of women. Some women may have every resources within their disposal, but they will not go on board to do the right thing, which can go against the growth of the child. When you don't eat good food, it goes against you. A research conducted in 2014 by the Center for Disease Control in America indicated that we have pregnancy-related deaths as many as 18 deaths in 100,000 pregnant women. It means when we take 100,000 pregnant women, 18 of them are going to die as a result of postnatal traits. And it is indicated that the mortality rate of black women dying from postnatal trait is higher than the white women. Meaning we Africans, we die more than the white women when it comes to postnatal traits. It means our system is not well organized. Our system is not well managed. So it goes on board to affect us. Not the woman alone, but the child. If the woman dies and you are lucky, the child can be catered for. But some other times, the caretaker may not have the requisite skill or the requisite nutrient that the child may need. So the child will be pale and die out. Who caused them? Now who caused them? We. It's because we have a system that is dysfunctional. If the system functions, how do you build a good hospital? How do you build a good hospital, but you don't have a good system that can run it? How do you train people, but they don't have the mindset to work? Not long ago, a young lady talking says that she never had the intention to go in for and nursing, but the family says she should go in for that. So all people who are watching her should be careful. When she pass out and start practicing, she'll be killing. She may be saying that as a joke, but it could be what? An undertone. There may be something innate that prepares her to say that, but no one knows. She needs psychological treatment. There are a series of investigations that are being done concerning this particular statement that was made by this young girl. We could have the age of the mother. The age of the mother. The age of the mother can have an effect in prenatal, perinatal, and postnatal. If you are too young, a lady, in between the ages of the teens, now because of the kind of food we eat, teenage pregnancy can even start at 10. So let's say 10 to what? 19. You are still young. Your system is still developing to make way for future childbirth. You become pregnant along the line. If you are not careful, you may give birth to a Down syndromic child. And if you have or grow as old as 35 as a woman, and you start giving birth to the early 40s, it's likely you may have a complication that can go against the newborn baby. Not long ago, Oheneyere Girfti Auntie became pregnant at the latest ages of her life. She has to move away from Ghana to the outside so that they can manage her situation. How many of us in Ghana can finance that? We don't have resources. So if you have your time, don't say I'm waiting for the right man or the right woman. Usually the problem might come from the woman. When it comes to the choice, I'm looking for a man who has a car, a man who has this. You can build a home together as a man and a wife. Don't wait for the right man. We have no right man anywhere. You can make the wrong the right. So when given the opportunity, you have age of 20 going, and you think you have a canon or you have age that you can go into marriage, careless about the resources. Only think about how the person can take good care of you. You can rush and go in for a person who has resources, but he may not have time for you. You become pregnant, he thinks less about you. Even date on top of that to give you psychological torture. So let's be careful. I know many of us who say, hey, 35. Yes, 35 is a prime age. It's very critical. Between the ages of 20 to 30s, that's a good age for childbirth. Beyond that, you need to manage your system, else you have complications. Why is it that of late, when women from the ages of 30 going, when they go for antenatal, the young ladies, they will be laughing at them. If you go to the fancy land, the girls will be saying, leave childbirth for us. You have passed the stage. They are not saying that because they hate you. They know that you have over-enjoyed your period or you have overstayed your period. So leave it for them. And they may be right in some instances. And they may be not right in some instances. Right in an instances, a prime time for a child is the age of 20 to 35. So that you not have complications. But beyond 35, you have to manage your own system. And be very careful when you become pregnant. Because of poverty, when people give birth, they have no time for their kids. They allow their kids to also go stray. Do things for their own. Each one for himself, God for all behavior. Please, these things doesn't help. And that poverty can even affect prenatal, perinatal, and postnatal. Some women want money to the extent that they have less time to even manage their pregnancy when they are pregnant. When they are pregnant, they will run the helter-skelter of the country, galamseying, making sure that they make more money more than the man who is even going. Some women might do that not because of their own volition, but because they have a man who cares less. And if you have a man who cares less about your upkeep, you have to do all these stressful jobs so that you can contain yourself and that of the unborn baby or the born baby. All these things can go against the child and go against the community, go against the school, and go against you, the teacher. So let's be careful. No matter how the situation, no matter how negative the system is for you as a woman, don't allow poverty to let you go into stressful activities that can go against your health and that of your child. When the child becomes problematic, it affects you as a mother because you care for them. Always. When the child becomes problematic, the community is not also out of it. They will tag the child and tag you too. So in communities, you can even identify women who become pregnant and have no one to care for them. You can be a community philanthropist. Give a little if they can manage it. We can equally have pregnant women who think when they become pregnant, they need to get all that they want and become extravagant in their lives. So they over-demand. When the husband refuses, they nag. That alone, if you are not careful and your husband doesn't understand the pregnancy stage, they can say stupid things that can let you go emotional. And when you become emotional, it doesn't affect you alone but the child. Don't be surprised a child cries all the time when they are born for the little provocation is as a result of emotional state of the mother. When the mother was emotional and gave birth, it go against the child. So if you are a man today, don't be stupid. Think more than what the woman thinks. When they disturb you, sometimes it could be as a result of the pregnancy-related issues. Some other time it can be induced by what the pregnancy. Some other time it can be self-created by the woman. Ignore all. Just because you so love the child that the woman is carrying. If you don't do that and the woman gives birth, you can never and ever have a good sleep. Every little thing the girl or boy will do, and you have to wake up. They will disturb and you cannot leave your home. Except when you are well dusted, you have a home that has multiple rooms. And because you care less, ignorant and, in quote, a stupid father, you go and live in another room and leave the woman alone to suffer. Please, let's be careful. If all this happens in their positive dimension, we may have a smooth, a healthy environment that can help us to nurture and then develop the learners. If such things are not happening, don't be surprised. You'll be chasing one seat here, they will be there, Haparatu children. Why are they doing that? Where they are coming from, there were no care for them. Mother and father never had the resources or the knowledge to engage them. So they end up having such problems and they take it to the school. We call it halo effect, carry-over effect. They bring to your home things that they took from the house. Don't be surprised. A child does something at home, what do you call it, in school. And the teacher, because he knows nothing about what the child went through, that charity begins at home. The charity begins at home synonymously is the halo effect. They carry from home to the school. What can the school do? We can do, but not all that. What we can do is to make sure we understand the child from his point of view, so that we can devise strategies, remedial processes, which we can use to manage. If you are lucky, we can manage for it to get ended. If you are not lucky, it will reduce so that each and every individual there can benefit. Remember, the essence of education is to change the person to positive. And we those in psychology or developmental and educational psychology, we always want the best for our learners. Ideally, if you are nurturing, the person should be in the averages. If not the average, beyond the average and not below the average. So if you are teaching and you have a problem child in your class, which never caused him or herself the problem, but because of perinatal problems, you need to make sure you devise a strategy for the person so that you can get the ideal level of learning for the person. Else, you have taught. But when they are talking about those who have taught and all those who have made it, you may not be the one, because they will tell you couldn't achieve your aim. Specifically, educational psychology says we want to maximize learning and make the teacher an effective teacher. So we can take you through the rudiment of the processes, so that you understand them and apply them in your classroom. At home there, we can do home visits. Speak to the mother of the child, the father of the child. When I was pursuing my PhD program, it was a mandate on me to go in for a full trip or a full study, a 3-hour course. So I need to identify a problem child in the class and help the child to come out of the problem. Surprisingly, I identified 3. But one was a bit a bit telling. Who is truant? Hardly he sit in the class. And when I did my anecdotal note on him, it happened that the home was so broken. The father is careless, a weed smoker, fights sporadically everywhere. So this boy have to wake up, fetch water for people before he could get some coins and bring it to school. I volunteered to be furnishing the boy breakfast, lunch, and supper. And within the period of engagement with him, he changed from being a truant to someone who is a habitual school attendant. But one thing I ignored because of the stress in the academia is to go and do post-investigation. I'm yet to do that to see whether he's able to be maintained, because he has completed his JHS. And I think once he has learned that he can live within the midst of stress and poverty, yet he can make a life, he can go beyond that. And I think I need to go there and do it. All these things okay in our environment, but because we don't see and because we lack the knowledge, we don't know, we end up telling or labeling the individuals that they might have caused themselves such things. Let's be careful. The life of a child rests on us. Not only the parents, not only the family, not only the society, but we the teachers, we the educators, we the counselors, and we the curriculum developers. It is about time even curriculum development focus on such things. What can we do to make sure a child yet to be born can also benefit from curriculum? What can we do to also make sure a child that is born rightly and yet to attend school can benefit from curriculum? We think curriculum is developed when the child starts schooling, meaning a lot of things that are very important in the life of a child have been ignored. We need to revise our nose and approach when it comes to human development. Else, the best that we want to get in our country, the best that we want to get in our world cannot be realized. Why is it that the developed countries, they are highly developed, highly progressing against us as Africans or less developed countries? Because their system works, opportunities are provided. Corruption is everywhere, but theirs is less and ours is much. We can bring our country, Ghana, for instance. I'm not going political, but it's because of corruption that all these things are happening. If systemic change is done, we'll have a change in mind and a change in approach to things. When that is not done, then we will continue to walk real behind. We will continue to face them and continue to manage, just managing. And management too is not what, it's not about eradication. We need a second thought. We need a reorientation of our thinking so that the best of a child can be realized. There are opportunities provided here for my learners who are listening, those who are streaming live on WhatsApp, that you can get us through WhatsApp line 0503 923158. You can equally get us through our social media handles, Radio Windy Bay 98.3 FM Facebook, and we have the live stream via www.uew.edu.gh. When you heard via or via, please don't be surprised. It depends on where you attended your JHS. My students understand. I attended a site too, and I go by via. Thank you very much. The airwaves are open. The networks are open. Come in with your questions. We shall answer them as and when they come. Thank you very much. I'll do a recap of the lecture after attending to questions that have been posed through our SMS platforms. .3 FM. Live here in the studios of Radio VDB 98.3 FM.
is Radio Windy Bay. Windy Bay 98.3 FM.
Yeah, for the attention of my dear students, we are trying to go online much more than the traditional airwaves that we have been experiencing. So I advise that each and everyone hook up onto your Facebook page and type Radio Windy Bay 98.3 FM and watch us live as we lecture you on pertinent issues that concerns your education or your training to become a professional teacher, a professional administrator, and a professional banker or human resource person. You can equally call through the 05039 23158, 0503 923158, or you WhatsApp or give a text, SMS, through the same line. You can do live streaming via www.uew.edu.gh. We are live. Get in touch and let our discussion interactive. Don't let it be, I'm teaching and you are listening. I like that. I want my students to always push me to the wall so that I will learn more and come and do justice to issues. I said earlier I was going to do a recap of what we have done. And our lecture centered on issues regarding human growth and development in the course EDC 241, Psychology of Human Development and Learning. Specifically, we took ourselves through prenatal, perinatal, and postnatal development. And these stages are fraught with a lot of threats. And when care is not taken, the threats can go against the smooth and wonderful development of the child or yet to be born child. So we implore that each and every one of us here, whether on campus, home, wherever you find yourself and listening or watching us through our media handles, you take note of them and go by them. Not only for your exam, but for your life. Because we psychologists don't teach for only here, we are teaching you for your future. We model you for everything that you do in your life. And we indicated that the 3 stages before birth are prenatal, perinatal, and postnatal. Prenatal is a period before birth, and a lot of things occur there. Several changes occur, and these changes are as a result of what? The developing fetus. The developing fetus. Some of the changes can be of the brain. But within the prenatal stage of development, it is subdivided into 3. We have the germinal stage, embryonic stage, and fetal stage. The germinal stage is the first 2 weeks of pregnancy, where a series of changes and cell divisions occur. And the fetus that is developing changes to blastocyst, a jelly-like structure, which allows its system to attach itself to the uterine wall or the uterus. And attaching the self to the uterus is what we call implantation. This stage is very critical in the life of every pregnant woman. Every pregnant woman is advised not to do anything stressful that can go against the process. If care is not taken, you can have miscarriage, and you may end up tagging or labeling the old man in your home that he or she is the reason for such a miscarriage. But it's as a result of what? The way and manner you do things. Yes, women when they are pregnant, they need to exercise. Too much of everything is bad. Don't think because you are a sports woman, you became pregnant, you want to run 100 meters. Please, it can go against the child. Sometimes we call it critical period or sensitive period that you need to take care of that pregnancy, else the implantation will not occur. And if implantation fails, you need to experience miscarriage. And how painful it is for the women, they only experience it or know it, but we the men, we don't. We only say, oh, show remorseful towards your loss. But after a day or 2, we forget. But you go in it and be thinking, psychological torture. We have the embryonic stage, which goes beyond the 2 weeks of pregnancy to the 8th week of pregnancy, approximately 2 months. Approximately 2 months. At this stage, several things occur. The genesis of your fingers occur there. The genesis of your hair occur there. The genesis of your mouth occur there. We see the tips or the signs over there. And at this stage, the human heart start beating. So if a pregnancy is terminated at that stage, we are not far from reality that a living human being is being terminated. A living human being is being terminated, or a live human being is being terminated. At this stage, we need to experience something that can say we have ended the stage, which we call a true presence of a bone cell. A true presence of a bone cell. And the bone cell is what makes the bony aspect of us. Once they are identified there, it means the person has ended embryonic stage and has started fetal stage. And at the fetal stage, it is about childbirth, which move beyond the month of 2 to the month of 9. Some human or women can get to the 9. Others who can go beyond 9, and others can go below 9. Individual differences you have to understand. Those who happens to go below the 9, they can be termed as preterm. And those who go beyond the 9, they can be termed as postterm. Postterm is very critical and dangerous, so as preterm is equally dangerous and critical to the life of the unborn baby or the mother who carries the unborn baby. Regarding postterm, if you are not careful and you meet, in quote, a midwife who so wish to say you must give birth no matter what, without understanding the fact that we have individual differences, they can induce you. And if the inducement fail, it go against some of the cells that the child needs to function on earth. Don't be surprised you give birth to a child and the child look at you but they cannot see you. They can give you some drugs, and to the 21st century woman or girl who say, I don't want to pass through the pain. Please give me this drug so that I will give birth early, or so that I will not experience the pain. You will take the drug, but the side effect of the drug cannot be felt at that moment. It's when the child is born. A senior colleague of mine in UCC, when he traveled outside the country years back to go and pursue his PhD, and the wife became pregnant for their first child, the day that midwives gave for the childbirth was a Wednesday. This woman went into labor for that period. Thursday, nothing happened. Friday, nothing happened. In quote, a stupidness induced her that you have to give birth within an hour. It prolonged to the following day, to the second day. And this woman gave birth. When she gave birth, all the brain cells that are responsible for motion were all dead. The child is very pretty, age of 13 today, but you see her in the couch or her sleeping bed like a child of just 4 years. That child doesn't have a feeling of pain in her body. When you press, she never experienced that. So she only communicates to the parents through cry. She cannot walk, she cannot talk, she cannot control any part of her body through induced pregnancy. When the father was called upon, he was in Nottingham Forest University. Quickly, he moved in and implanted the wife and the child to UK. The medical doctors there asked, what did you do? They said they did nothing. And they told the man, please, we can't do anything to bring the child to reality. We need to manage. This is how she's going to be. And the advice that they gave was that they have to come to Ghana and sue the hospital. But a Ghanaian, Jamanenka, let's leave it to God. The man left it to God. And now it's a burden on the family. The woman is a teacher. The man is a lecturer, an ASO prof. They need to get someone at home. When they go to their various professional areas, then the woman will take care of. That incurs on them extra cost. Would you want to be like that? As a yet to be mother or father? Would you want to incur such things? If you are not lucky and you don't get a good job I swear, you are doomed. You are going to suffer. So let us be careful. Women, don't think because you want to have a standing breast, you want to have a closing. God is so wonderful. Sometimes we can even induce ourselves through cesarean without any health complications that you have identified. Induced cesarean section can equally go against the newborn baby. If you have a medical doctor who lacks clear knowledge about the area, they know how to cut, but how to manage in bringing out and cutting or separating you and the child, it can go against the child. Now you have the standing breast, you have the closing inside or inlet, being your private part. I can go profane a bit because of psychology. Your vagina, you want a closing opening. God is so wonderful. If a woman gives it through the bed canal, automatically hormones are released and they are able to squeeze it. But today, because of ignorance, lack of knowledge, the women go on board to induce themselves just to do that. Others will sit on warm water. Others will use vaginal care and the rest. They all have side effects that can go against your second or third child. Let's be careful.
98.
All right. The platforms are open. I'm repeating the lines. You can call, you can give a text, and you can equally streamline live on Facebook for us to get in touch with you and have our discussion interactive. You can reach us through a telephone line or WhatsApp 0503 923158. 0503 923158. On Facebook, you just type on your search bar Radio Windy Bay 98.3 FM and click on it. We are live. Go to the university website www.uew.edu.gh. We are streamed live there. Get in touch and get our interaction highly interactive with your questions, concerns, clarifications, and doubt. I will do all my best to offer you what I can. But remember, I'm not a paragon of all knowledge when it comes to my own professional area of human development and learning. Your questions are welcome. Thank you very much.
8.3 FM.
Do we have any?
Live here in the studios of Radio Windy Bay 98.3 FM. Live here in the studios of Radio Windy Bay 98.3. This is Radio Windy Bay, Windy Bay 98.3 FM. Windy Bay 98.3 FM.
Thanks very much, my dear listeners of UEW. This is one of your own, Dr. INUSAH MAHAMA from the Department of Educational Foundations, taking you through the course EDC 241. Part, we are done with the lecture, and today our lecture centered on the threats regarding prenatal, postnatal, and perinatal development. We have done a lot, and questions keep coming, and we are going to do all our best to make sure each and everyone gets his or her question answered. I'll first of all start with the one from faculty member Samuel Ofori Dankwa. He has a question to ask. Does contraceptives affect conception? Yes, indeed. Let's say the implants, the women of today, because infidelity is becoming a norm in the Ghanaian community. Because of that, young ladies of today want always to explore their sexual lives. In the process of doing that, they think they should equally prevent unwanted or unplanned pregnancies. So they go on board to take implants. And these implants, remember, they work based on the hormones available in your system. And once it got to conflict with the hormones, it distracts the natural workings of the system. So pregnancy will not come. And along the line, if you keep using consistently it becomes a pattern because your system becomes adapted to it. Getting a pregnancy when you are ready even sometimes become very difficult because your system is now used to all those things. So it's like you have to recreate a new from a new. You have to recreate a new from a new. You can ask those who have been doing family planning when they go in for implant. When they are ready to give birth, the first 1 month, 2 months, 3 months to 4 months, they will be having complications. They menstruate all right after removing, but they mix the target and hence no pregnancy occur. Those two who want rough play, the young ladies of today, and I'm not taking my students out of that, all the time they do it. They will go without protection, and after engaging in a sexual bout, they'll go and buy postnatal 2. They'll go and buy something. The names are too many. The last time I had P2. In our days, P2 was class 2. So I thought the person was mentioning class 2, not knowing it was P2. So let's be careful. Too much of everything is bad. Although the scientists are saying we can prevent unintended pregnancies, in the process of doing that too, it can go against the development of your own system, which can equally, at the end of the day, go against a smooth conception. If you don't do that, what will happen? If you are not ready, why do you go in for sexual intercourse? Morals are weakened. Our moral system is no more working. So as early as 15, a lady is aware of a man, and a man is aware of a lady. We are not saying it's your cause. It's because of a systemic change. But then let's be careful. If you go in that way, it go against you. If you go in that, it go against you. Not only, the person who takes, but the seller makes money out of that. And because we don't think and go on board to work, thinking that it will help us, it go against our good living. Another lady by name Veronica Panchano, she's asking a question about mad women who also give birth. I know a child of mad woman is so up-performing. In this case, it's a madness, not a psychological effect. It's a madness, not a psychological effect. Thank you very much, Veronica. Madness is an abnormality. You and I are equally abnormal. When you become angry, you are abnormal. When you eat not well, you are abnormal. So the woman that you saw living in the street, walking or wearing tattered dresses is not mad. It's abnormality that you find in her system. The mad person that you have tagged or the abnormal woman that you and I know, they can equally give birth. They give birth. And if they are identified to become pregnant, social welfare people try to always feed them with good food, because that is their responsibility as a nation. If that is not done, every woman who happens to be a mother or yet to be a mother will have a feeling for such a woman, and they will give good food and even give treatment to them so that they can give birth to a child that will be healthy, so that you and I can interact with them. The woman might have a defect or a torture in her thinking, but it doesn't mean that torture go against the growth and development of the unborn baby. So have that in mind. Although some abnormal behaviors can be inherited, but not everything. If your mother or father is abnormal in nature, it doesn't mean automatically you are going to take it on board when we are born. Individual differences and the combination of chromosomes and genes. Have that in mind. You are answered. Thank you very much. We have another member of us here who have a question. All right. I think this is a pleasantry that they are offering to us, Radio Windy Bay, and that of the lecturers from the Department of Educational Foundations. Yeah, we so cherish your messages. Keep them coming, and let's move away from traditional to online so that each and everyone, wherever you find yourself, you can get the best of our radio lecture series. Thank you very much. The questions will keep coming. We have given you the opportunity. I'm mentioning or trying to announce the studio lines again. The studio lines are 0503 923158. 0503 923158. You can WhatsApp us through that same line, and you can streamline through the university website www.uew.edu.gh. And again, on Facebook, Radio Windy Bay 98.3 FM. Get in touch and let our interaction highly interactive. We are ever ready to serve our own students and the general public. Thank you very much.
Windy Bay 98.3 FM. This is Radio Windy Bay, Windy Bay 98.3 FM. Windy Bay 98.3 FM. Stay locked to your frequency 98.3 FM. Windy Bay 98.3 FM. Windy Bay 98.3 FM. Live here in the studios of Radio Windy Bay 98.3 FM. This is Radio Windy Bay, Windy Bay 98.3 FM. This is Radio Windy Bay, Windy Bay 98.3 FM. This is Radio Windy Bay, Windy Bay 98.3 FM.
We are about wrapping up our lecture for this morning. In the process of wrapping up, if you still have questions, concerns, please kindly drop them and let us have your issues cleared for you. Yeah, all this information that we are having here, our own students listening to us from different colleges, students have met in different universities, they are online. In fact, I will say thank you so much for having time listening to our lecture, although I'm no more with most of you. I'm married to UEW till that kingdom come. I can only cease to be part of UW when I'm no more as a human being. But then, wherever you find yourself and you are listening, you can keep your questions coming and I'll get them answered for you. Thank you very much. As I said earlier, we are wrapping our lecture regarding the threats in pre, peri, and postnatal development. I already indicated that pre, post, and peri, and postnatal development are development that occur during pregnancy and after pregnancy. And within this period, there are several things that can go against the smooth growth and development of the individual. So we always say that in as much as we cannot control for some, there are some we can control. Those that we can control are the environmental in nature. Those that we cannot control are the genetic. And I did indicate that we have maternal diseases that we cannot control. They have an effect on a child. Rubella is one, that's German measles, herpes, and the rest. We equally have sickle cell anemia. We have Down syndrome, Klinefelter syndrome, and what? Turner syndrome. All come together to affect the unborn baby. Meaning, with a Down syndrome, it's a chromosomal abnormality. Turner syndrome is a chromosomal abnormality, and Klinefelter syndrome is a chromosomal abnormality. All these three chromosomal abnormalities have a toll on the child. They cause highly or severe mental retardation in their lives. They lack the world growth that we all anticipate for them, and even increases their death rate. They are susceptible to any other thing that can cause death. We have the environmental factors. These environmental factors include what we take in, the food that we eat. Some may be healthy, others may not be healthy. Some other items too that we talk about are non-food items, which we term as picker. It's an abnormal behavior found in the lives of pregnant women. They chew things that they're supposed not to chew. They eat things that they're supposed not to eat just because they crave for them. If you find yourself in such things, it doesn't mean you are going to die out of that immediately, but it can go against the smooth growth of the child. And at the end of the day, it can affect you, the individual mother, the individual child, the community you find yourself, and the environment or the school you find yourself. So let's be careful and go by advice given by public health unit in the various hospitals, the psychologists that you engage, so that they will guide you through the processes of pregnancy to the time you give birth. And they also guide you through the process of the child development, to where the child become independent of you. Once that is done, you become who you want, and you have a child that we can interact with in our environment. As said and done, we can equally say that human beings as we are, if you say we are learning these things, are we doctors? Are we nurses? No. But we are teachers. We are teachers and we are engaging learners. The learners that we are engaging, do we know them? No. We should know them through this process, the essence of the course. Once you know all these things that happens in the life of a child that you are training, if the child exhibit or show a behavior that is not called for in the class, you can quickly do a tracer study on the child and see where the issues are coming from. And such a tracer study can be backward in nature. Go to the child home. What were the issues that he or she encountered growing up? Or what did the mother went through when she was pregnant? You'll be able to appreciate the child and then devise the strategies that will help the child to grow and grow better. On that note, I think we are done for the day. And I think each and everyone that made time, God bless you, and keep joining Radio Windy Bay for the best of lectures orchestrated by the university. One and only in Ghana. All the universities in Ghana have radio stations, but none of them does radio lecture except UEW. We came late, but we have set the pace. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Okay, so there you go. The endorsement right there. In a reciprocal fashion, let me quickly do this one. We owe it for our generation and posterity as well. A masterclass delivery from a 21st century academician embodied in Dr. INUSAH MAHAMA. I resonate that again. Dr. INUSAH MAHAMA from the Department of Educational Foundations, particularly the bigger umbrella, the Faculty of Educational Studies, University of Education, Winneba. So like they say, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. Sincerest apologies once again to our discerning listeners who couldn't really come through on traditional radio, but as a result of the visionary leadership we have, you did have the Experience Food Circle via online mode, whether you're looking at Facebook, Radio Unibe 98.3 FM, or that is the all-embracing homepage of our university, www.uw.edu.gh. So many thanks to you, Dr. INUSAH MAHAMA, for doing us the honors this morning, having done justice to the topic, threats to prenatal, perinatal, and postnatal development, educational implications. To fast forward, don't forget, irrespective of the season we live in, come later on this day. We are looking at 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. To all you level 100 students, your radio lecture will be on as well. That's EDC 111, the school curriculum, social change and national development. Topic will be components of the school curriculum. And lecturer will be Mr. Alex Tete from the Department of Educational Foundations, University of Education, Winneba. On a futuristic note, come tomorrow. That's Wednesday, 24th August 2022, 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. will be for level 200 students studying the course EDC 232, Principles and Practice of Teaching. Topic will be Learner-Centered Method of Teaching. And lecture will be Dr. Paul Ephraim. And then in the evening for tomorrow, that's Wednesday, 24th August 2022, between 5:30 p.m. and 7 p.m., will be for level 300 students, UW, studying the course EDC 351, Introduction to Guidance and Counseling. Topic will be Appraisal Service. And lecturer will be Mr. Alfred Anovunga. So for both morning and evening deliveries, both lectures are coming from the Department of Educational Foundations, University of Education, Winneba. Like you know, like we always do, studio line 0503923158 will be activated. WhatsApp and text, same path as well. However, on Facebook, it's Radio Winneba 98.3 FM, and then on the all-embracing homepage of our university, www.uw.edu.gh.